Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a special show here on the Comic Art Live channel. As you know, we have been hosting a Proxy bid event over on Comic Art Fans for the last week, I believe. We've got 46 artworks available for proxy bidding. And for those of you who are still who are new to CAF, there's a link pinned in the chat at the top of the screen where you can click on that and go and view all of the artworks that are available. There's instructions on how to bid, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But before we get started with the show today, I wanted to bring in Jason Chatfield. So let me swing a camera over here, bring Jason in, the Society's president. So welcome to the show, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm good, Bill. How are you?
I am fantastic. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too. Thank you for doing this. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I've always tried to utilize the platform for charitable events whenever possible. I wish more organizations like yours would approach me, but yeah, this is a lot of fun. I've known a lot of I've been good friends with Bill Morrison for a very long time, and Ken, and I've known the works from many of these artists for years, like Sergio and Jeff Smith and you name it. So it's an honor to be able to help you guys out as well. But could you go ahead and talk a little bit about the society? Why it was formed, what its goals are, and especially what the charitable side of this auction benefits.
Yes, absolutely. The National Cartoonist Society was formed in 1946. It was a group of cartoonists who got together for a bunch of chalk dogs to draw for the troops after the war, and they realized they enjoyed each other's company very much. And it was Rube Goldberg, who was the founding president, who decided, you know what, let's get a board together, let's make this thing official. And 77 years later, we have hundreds of members from all walks of cartooning, all the different disciplines, from animation to comic strips, panels, web comics, everything you can name. It really is a very diverse, culturally and disciplinary organization. The charitable aspect of it, our foundation, which is our 501c3 charity aspect, was formed back in 2005. The whole role of the National Cartoonist Society Foundation was to continue that sort of charitable and educational work that had been the hallmark of the NCS from back in the 40s. So we are a registered 501c3 charity. We work in tandem. So there's a foundation board and an NCS board. They're separate, but we work hand in glove. And the notion is to advance the ideals and standards of the cartooning profession, to stimulate and encourage aspiring cartoonists through scholarships, educational programs, and providing financial assistance to cartoonists and their families in times of hardship. So we encourage active involvement from our NCS members, like we have this week, and utilizing the Society's greatest assets and strengths. So this is what we've been doing for many years. We draw for kids at hospitals. We raise money for good causes, and we put our scribbling skills to good use. And we're happy to do that again this week.
That's wonderful. I mean, how many auctions have you guys hosted in the past? Because I feel like I haven't promoted many of them. Is this one seems to be the biggest scale one that you've held, I believe, right?
It is probably the biggest scale one that we have done, and we're grateful to 4C Comics, to Ken and the gang. It's been a really a fantastic way to actually to do this, because doing everything, reinventing the wheel and trying to do it ourselves is silly. We have done auctions in the past, but with other auction organizations that we have varying degrees of satisfaction and success with. So we're actually really happy to be able to do this kind of thing. And we actually love being able to interact live with people. And the comic art fans. Like we really, the cartoonists, we really, we sit in our studios all day drawing. We actually like to interact with the actual fans and be able to share our work and collaborate. So that's kind of where we're at with doing these kinds of auctions, and this is certainly, yes, the biggest scale one that we've done.
Wonderful. Well, it's the artwork in it from beginning to end is fantastic too, and for us as art collectors, because that's really the community that I represent. There's a lot of pieces in here that there might only be one or two other representative pieces on our site, and we have 1 million pieces of art posted by collectors on the site. So some of these are pretty rare and great to see, because the opportunity to own some of these is is as caretakers of the hobby, we appreciate it. We know the value of the art, from a historical standpoint, and as well as just from a deep appreciation from the medium in general, right? So yeah, again, we're really happy to be able to work with you on this as well. So I'm sorry, just checking out the chat, but so Jason, how long have you been president?
I've been president for the past 4 years. So basically, the NCS terms for president are 2 years, and generally it's two-year terms. So yeah, it's been. I'm actually handing over this week to the new president, who is right here, Karen Evans. If you're familiar with the Luann comic strip,
yes,
Luann.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm handing over to Karen, who is taking over for probably the next 4 years. If you want to do 2 terms, you want to do 2 terms, let's do 2 terms. Okay. So Karen is the incoming president. The president of the foundation is Tom Richmond, who was a previous president of the NCS. You would know his work from Mad Magazine, for those movie parodies and illustrations. And the comic art fans are all probably familiar with, as you say, all of the contributors from the NCS, their work. People like Jeff Smith and Sergio. I've made no bones about it. Sergio's my favorite cartoonist. I tell anyone who'll listen. So I saw that piece, and I saw it. My head exploded. So it's incredible.
So you've got all the art there from that's been donated. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Sergio's work, but I've never seen one of the one of those pieces with it's got to be like 40 panels per page, and they're double page spreads. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
So let's see with the Rubens start with the awards, right? Do they start later this afternoon around dinner time?
They do. Yeah, in about 3.5 hours, we'll have a hotel red carpet full of cartoonists from all over the world, and then from 7:30 we have the awards that are handed out for all the different divisions, all the different sort of disciplines of cartooning, and then the big one, the Cartoonist of the Year, which is the Reuben Award, named after Rube Goldberg, our inaugural president. So yeah, we have some amazing nominees. Jeff Smith is a nominee this year. Yeah, we have a lot of great nominees this year. And it's always a fun night. We always, as formal as it sounds, we're still cartoonists. We still have a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. I mean, is there like the things that you talked about earlier on the charitable side of things, as far as helping other creators and educational opportunities? I mean, during the course of a year, what would be, some examples of those things that you maybe have done and use these funds to help?
So we've done all kinds of things. We try to get creative because in the pandemic, we were sort of forced to pivot and sort of go virtual for a lot of things. We used to visit hospitals. We got all of our NCS members to contribute pages to an NCS activity book, like a coloring book and puzzles and things like that, drawn by all of our members. And then we put that together and sent that out to children's hospitals and schools that had to go remote and have schools have students being working over Zoom and things like that. We wanted to give some parents something to keep the kids busy, so we built out and printed and delivered a whole bunch of those activity books to students. And we also we try and get a little we get creative with what we if we're going to be in a certain city or town, or we're going to a Comic-Con or anything like that, we try and pair that with a visit to a hospital. Again, we used to do that every year. COVID meant that we were unable to do that due to health restrictions. We're just winding that up again. We're also rebooting our USO program, where we go and draw for the troops. We've been doing that for about 15 years, and obviously in 20 and 21 we weren't able to do that, but we're starting our next one up with the through the USO. I think the Coast Guard is the next one we're doing. But yeah, we do all kinds of educational programs as well as fundraising. We're actually working out a new virtual program so that more people can get involved rather than having to come to an event in person. So yeah, that's something we're rolling out in the next month or two.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, and again, I think you mentioned earlier, the society was founded basically on a desire to get out and support the troops in some manner. I mean, what better, an opportunity to bring some creatives together to do something good, to, bring some joy to some people's lives. And that was right in 46, correct?
46, yeah. And that group of cartoonists, which included like Milt Kniff and Mort sorry, not Walker. He's not that old. Rube Goldberg and those guys, the inaugural board, they had such a good time, over there, and they had never really done anything like that before. And I believe it was on the plane on the way back that someone tapped. I think it was Rube Goldberg who tapped Milt Caniff on the shoulder and said, "Hey, we should do this again." And since then, NCS members have gone to all of the different war zones in Afghanistan, and Iraq, and all over the Middle East, and also, visiting troops around America. We never know where we're going to go. They just tell us, "Hey, you're getting on a plane. We can't tell you where." They send us with pencils and pens, and then we draw for the troops, and it's a very enriching experience. And it is genuinely it is a really big piece of the NCS's history. So that we're glad that we can still do that in 2023.
Wonderful. Well, Jason, I mean, I'm sure that I know he's going to be at the awards. I think he's going to try to stream a little bit of that. I hope that you guys take a lot of photographs and maybe some video clips. And if you can get them sent over to me, I'd be happy to do a little bit of PR for you after the awards presentation, and just raise more awareness to the what you guys do with the society, and especially with the awards too, because you're recognizing artists whom many of us admire, and I think that and sometimes people we're not aware of, or whose names we're not familiar with, and I think that that's always an important part of what we do here on the channel and on the site is discovering creators whose work we're not familiar with. I'll be honest, Jason, I had to Google you.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I'm like, okay, the accent, what is it? It's Australian. So okay, wonderful. But that's a great part of I think, as we as art collectors, I think we love discovering talent, and because at the end of the day, art is something that can be appreciated by many. You're not going to collect everything, but at least there's a love for it that pretty much everybody has. I mean, you think the Sunday strips, you're touching so many people in so many different ways for so long. I mean, it's people have learned to read thanks to cartoons. Yeah, exactly.
I learned to read reading comics, the Sunday comics. That's how I learned to read. Yeah.
No.
And I should say, for the past 16 years, I've been doing a daily and Sunday comic strip. It's a 102-year-old legacy strip, and the feedback that you get from the readers is incredible. Some of them do say, and it's translated into lots of different languages. So they say, "Yeah, I learned to read by reading your comic." It's nice to hear. And I should say that we will be at National Cartoonists is our Instagram handle, and we will be live streaming just the Reuben Award section on our account. But I know that Bill is going to be live streaming some of the other stuff. Bill Morrison and Ken, I think, are the people to follow for any extra stuff. But we are streaming the Reuben.
No, and again, it was at Reuben. I want to make sure I got
it. Sorry, at National Cartoonists is the Instagram handle, and ReubenAwards.com is the website with all the information on the event and also all the nominees for the divisions. But NationalCartoonists.com is our website, so you can find everything on there.
Got it. Perfect. Well, I'll make sure I share those links before we close off the show tonight. So anybody who wants to follow the awards and whatever Ken's doing after the show is over, they can. But again, Jason, thanks for doing this.
Of course.
In this presentation today, I look forward to seeing where the auctions end up this evening, and see who wins the Cartoonist of the Year award too.
Bill, thank you so much. We really appreciate this.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.
All right, cheers.
All right, everybody. So yeah, this is I'm not used to doing the afternoon broadcast. As everybody said, everybody thinks I sleep during the day, but that's all right. I'm happy to be here because I don't. I'm working 24/7, it feels like. But what we're going to do today, I want to give you the ground rules. I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit, I think, at length, as far as how the bidding is going to go. With proxy bidding has been going on over at Comic Art Fans for at least the last 6 days. Several pieces are in the 5 figures already. Some pieces don't have bids on them, but as like we talked about last Thursday when I had Ken and Bill on the stream, we set the starting bids right around 50% or even less of the value of the pieces of art that as we felt them to be. I went through all the market data that we had on the artists that we could look up. So proxy bidding starting points were really fair, and some of the pieces have achieved a level that is wonderful to see. I knew that we would get a lot of support from the Comic Art Fans community, and so but it's something that we had never tried before. As you know, putting items up for for bid and then having people use the comment system on CAF is not something we've done before. We have a marketplace out there. We could have put it in, but that would have really forced people to create accounts and make bids. Since I knew that we would be taking some anonymous bids coming in, and I do have three bidders who've given me a list of things to place bids on, which I have been doing. I just felt like the comment system was the easiest way to proceed in that manner. But so, like I mentioned, at 4 o'clock today, all proxy bidding will cease. I won't be able to turn off the gallery where the art is, but I'll have it probably turned off by about, 10 minutes after 4. But any bid except that somebody tries to place after 4 o'clock will not count towards the proxy bidding. So all I can do is encourage you to place your proxy bids as soon as possible. Do not wait till 5 minutes before 4 or 1 minute before 4, because you could lose out. It's just kind of how it goes. We all know how things at Heritage and Comic Link and Hakes and Comic Connect go. So please don't wait. All this money is going towards the foundation's charity, and it's very important. So waiting to the last second, snipes are not going to work. Those of you who are potentially watching who aren't Comic Art Fans members, I'd be happy to place anonymous bids for you, but you got to email me your bids before 4 o'clock, and I'll put my email address up on the screen for those of you who may be in that situation. But again, it's easier to create a Comic Art Fans account and head over to the gallery where I have all the art set up. Again, the pinned link in the chat will get you there. The show description on YouTube will get you there, so you can see all 46 artworks that are available for the proxy bidding today. So, but with that, if anybody has any questions about it, let me know. But the only major questions I got from people was about, well, if I put in a certain bid, is that going to force me to potentially, be locked into something? So in other words, if somebody's at $100 and you place a $200 bid in the comments, they were kind of hoping it might only increment to 125. No, whatever amount you put in your comment will be the bid, the point from which the next bidder has to increase from. So, keep that in mind. It's, again, it's not ideal, but that's the way we're doing it. And again, it's going to work. I promise you. But hey, I see an old friend is in the green room, so I'm going to bring Mr. Joe Staten into the chat. Hey, Joe, how's my Drick the Crick or drawing? One of these days, I'm going to see you at a show, and I'm going to get one of those.
Okay.
So welcome back to the channel. Are you so you're attending the Rubens today? Do you get to do any presenting yourself?
No presenting, just observing and then listening and such like. It's all fun.
That's awesome, and I do appreciate you donating those 2 Dick Tracy strips to the auction. They're awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, glad to do it.
No, I think they've got a couple bids on them already. I'm sure they'll probably get a couple more before we end up turning it over to the live floor today. So Joe, how long have you been a member of the society?
Oh golly, maybe 6 or 8 years. It's not that long.
Well, but have you been able to attend a Rubens ceremony before?
Yeah, we went to the Philadelphia one and to the Huntington Beach one. So that 2 before this one, and this one's living up to standards.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys are in Jersey today, I believe, right?
We are in Jersey City. Yep, right on the water.
Wonderful. Now, what just because I got you on here, what's your next show appearance, so I can let the fans know?
My next show appearance is tomorrow morning in Baltimore.
I thought I saw you on that schedule.
Yes, we're going to get up bright and early and like drive like 3 hours or something to be in Baltimore in time to set up before the show opens. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, I have a feeling you're not the only person there that is in that situation.
I think so. Unless some of your crew is, but I haven't heard of anybody else.
No, okay. I figured at least Ken might be going to Baltimore. Maybe not, but yeah, that's tough. I've kind of figured if it was in Baltimore, it would have been a lot easier. But hey, as long as you're game for that trip, then that's good. But as far as the society goes, I mean, it's so you're a 6 to 8 year member. I mean, that's great. I mean, it's funny, there's so many different organizations out there that support the comic arts or the illustration arts, and a lot of them. The society's one that I really only learned about a few years ago, even though it's been in place since 1946. Had you always been aware of it? I mean, given the fact that Rube Goldberg and Milton Caniff founded it, I mean, those are two pretty impressive illustrators in the field.
Yeah. Well, for the longest, it was kind of generally thought that comic book artists weren't that welcome at the NCS. They all artists, all cartoonists are now. They have a wider spread, and I didn't actually think of joining until I started doing the Dick Tracy strip. And felt like
I was just gonna say, was that what was the tipping point for you? Was doing the strip?
That was, yeah. And it turns out, I'm fine. Whatever I'm doing these days, they are very, very good to be around. So,
but did they tell you, Joe, you could have joined? Did they say, you could have joined anytime, Joe? We would have welcomed you into the society.
Basically, yes.
Right.
Actually, one of my book editors, Joe Orlando, had suggested putting me up for membership years ago, and I didn't quite believe him, but it turned out he was right.
Well, it's funny that because there's a lot of awards presentations and groups out there that I think comic illustrators felt that they didn't belong, and some whereas, but I think maybe it was just because they weren't sure. Like you think about the Spectrum books that came out. I mean, they didn't initially have comic book illustrators in there as people that they awarded or put recognition on, but they eventually worked comic artists to be a part of that annual awards book. And but I think a lot of comic book artists probably weren't aware of that, and Spectrum is one of those books that was kind of the the cornerstone for acknowledging incredible artworks done in the prior year. And so, I think for whatever reason, comic book illustrators haven't had like that, that one thing, other than, of course, the awards in San Diego and a few others, but still, that's great. I'm glad you did, because your work on Dick Tracy is fantastic. I've picked up a couple of the comics that have all of the strips in there, and it's wonderful. I mean, you were so well suited to be working on that. I love the strips that had the spirit in it as well. I mean, those were fun. I mean, I imagine it had to have been a lot of fun for you to work on too.
I have very much enjoyed working on Tracy. So.
That's great. That is fantastic. Well, Joe, I'm going to dive in and start showing off some of the artworks, but I appreciate you taking a few minutes here to chat with us today. This is, I think that, and I hope you have a wonderful time tonight and a wonderful time in Baltimore afterwards. I'm not able to go this year, so I won't get to see you over there, but I'm sure many of the people in the audience will end up stopping by your booth, and maybe I'll have to. I might have somebody stop by to get on your sketch list for me, so I can finally get that drawing that I didn't get at Heroes this year.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. Yep. Enjoy the rest of your time. Have fun at the awards tonight.
Right, and the awards tonight may go directly into the show in Baltimore. I may not know the difference.
All right. Well, if you're sleeping at your table, I'll make sure nobody bothers you until you're awake. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that's great. They told me that throughout the show we might have a different guest be able to pop in for a few minutes and talk. So we had Joe on the channel like 3 months ago, right before we went to Heroes in June, and Joe's a fantastic guy. Love his work. Obviously, we feature a lot of it on the CAF updates, and that's awesome to have him here. We'll see who else Ken can wrangle throughout the show. I'm definitely seeing some comments getting added to some pieces, so that means we're getting more bids. But what I'd like to do now is just start rolling through the pieces that we do have available, and kind of highlighting each one of them, and letting you guys know where the bidding's at. So let's see here. So this is over on the Cartoonist Society website, as was mentioned earlier. That's at Cartoonists.com, and they've listed all the pieces there. Some of the stuff that's going to be shown isn't in the proxy bidding that I'm going to show you today, but I'd say by and large most of it is. But they have a lot of things that are happening on the floor proxy wise that weren't art related. There were some books, they have some toys, they have different stuff that were contributed to the auction that obviously just didn't fit into putting over there on CAF. So let me go ahead. The first piece we have from here that was donated, this is a Charlie Adlard Walking Dead piece, and I was it listed on there. Yeah, I think it's issue 104. This looks, is that page 1? Page 2. Page 2. So donated by Charlie, all art by Charlie. This one, I know there's a few bids on it. I think I saw Jason put a bid on it. Not to give Jason a complex here saying he's bidding on this piece, but where was that one? I think it is currently at, let me see, the Charlie Adlard artwork. Here we got 2 bids, and it is now at $300. So I appreciate the Paul Ference for putting the bid in there. So everybody has literally an hour and a half to get their proxy bids in on any of the pieces that they are interested in. So can I wear a mask while we're waiting for the next guest? No, Marcus, we will not. And hey, Gabe, nice to have you in the chat. We sincerely appreciate it. And Joe K, that was E-Man Joe Staten. Yes, indeed it was. Let's see here. What do we got next? Oh, this is a big one. This is that Sergio strip that we were talking about at the beginning of the show. This is it's actually 2 DPSs. So it's on, I mean, this is one of the DPSs. Here's the other one with the title, A Mad Look at the Filthy Rich. This is done on the back of one of the pieces. And this is, so as you can see, it's 2 DPSs, 28 by 18 and a half, each 2 boards taped together. And it's on Strathmore. It's from Mad Magazine, published in 2012. And if you follow anything related to a mad look at pieces done for Mad Magazine by Sergio, they're on Heritage. It's seemingly at least once or twice a month, and they always go for anywhere around $4,500 to $5,000. Similar DPSs, and basically we have 2 here. So the bidding at this stage with this one, again, it's a high bidder is Paul Ference, and they placed a bid of $2,500 on these 2 pieces of artwork. So I think that's a strong bid, and it could be the winner, but at the end of the day, you never know. It definitely could go higher. Let's see. I see Ken has changed his name. I don't think that means he wants me to bring him in here. He's probably seeking victims to chat with. So sorry, I'm checking out, making sure I'm keeping on top of any of the bids that come in, since I don't want to mess anybody up. Next up is this Red and Rover newspaper strip. This is by Brian Bassett, and I know on this one as well we've got a few bids on it. So let me swing over and double check where that's at. Again, this is one of those times where I probably could have used an assistant in the chat to kind of go over the things with me. But it has 1 bid, and at the starting bid of $100 by Alex Johnson. So this thing comes with 3 pieces: the illustration itself, a color guide, and then this was a prelim for it as well. So you'll get 3 pieces. And one thing I should let everybody know, this is after the proxy bidding is over. Sometime around dinner time, these pieces will be live bid on the floor. The Rubens are always attended by comic book artists, so you can expect some of these pieces, the proxy bids won't win. If you are a winning bidder as a proxy bidder, you will be contacted by Ken Carson from 4C within 48 hours. Again, I think Ken's going to Baltimore, so he might have a lot on his plate. But next time we bring Ken on, I'll confirm that or not. But Ken will reach out and arrange payment and shipping with any of the proxy bidders whose bids end up going to the top of the list. So Bill, yeah. So this piece is at $100 currently. Then look at that. Marcus, you would be so proud of that Zitz drawing right there. This was a piece by Jim Borgman, donated by Jim as well. It's on 9x12. This was it was published in a Rubens Award program in 2015. So I guess maybe they were in DC that time. I can see Bill Morrison in the green room nodding his agreement on that one. So this one I know has a couple bids on it as well. Let me double check where that one's at. Let's see. If I had multiple screens here, it'd be easier. But let's see, where is that? It is. Well, here, let's see. Hopping over to here. There it is. So this one has one bid at it, and what do we got? It's by Bill himself, $75. So I guess that's a good segue to bring Bill in since he's bidding on this piece. Hey, Bill, how are you doing?
You couldn't have planned that better. I'm doing good, Bill. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's nice to see you again. We talked last Thursday when we got the whole proxy bidding session started, and it's going pretty well so far. I think.
Yeah, we're very pleased with how it's going. We can't thank you enough for your involvement and basically the exposure that you've given to this auction. It's really meant a lot, and I'm just excited at. I'm the vice president of the foundation that this effort is for. So I'm already thinking about the wonderful things we can do to help fellow cartoonists and to help young cartoonists get started with educational efforts, scholarships, etc.
So how do you choose, where the charitable funds go? Do you kind of, is there a board within the group, or is it just the, how do you do that?
Yes, we have a board, and Tom Richmond of Mad Magazine fame is our president. And so if a need arises, somebody gets that word to Tom. It's much like the Hero Initiative in a lot of ways, where somebody hears that, a cartoonist needs some financial help, and they, get a message to Tom. Tom contacts all of us with all the details, and then we talk about what we can do to help. So in addition to that, that's one aspect, but then also we have a scholarship that we give out to young cartoonists. We do hospital visits. We do fundraising for St. Jude Children's Hospital, and we have local chapters all around the country. And there's a program within the foundation called Cartooning for Kids. And any chapter that wants to organize a trip to a local hospital, wherever they are, they can contact us, and we send them basically these kind of goodie bags that they can hand out to the kids when they do the hospital visits. So they will go and draw for kids, but they'll also hand out coloring books and crayons and drawing supplies, etc. And that's been a really I think very worthwhile and fulfilling. You just get a warm.
It's good for you as well as the kids.
Yes, exactly. Like we get really more out of it than I think the kids do.
but again, that's why it's as creators and illustrators and cartoonists, it's great to have that recognition and to be able to utilize your skills for something other than making a buck all the time, right? I mean, and not because not many people in the professions that they serve get to do those sorts of things unless they're really philanthropic and want to do it on their own, right? So no, you're able to utilize your skills to make other people happy and yourselves happy all at the same time.
Yeah, it's we're basically facilitating the local cartoonists to go out and do it, and a lot of cartoonists. We have some celebrity cartoonists in the organization who people might know their work from newspapers or comic books. But then we have a lot of people who, they're very good cartoonists, but they're not that famous. But they can go to a children's hospital and they know how to draw all these other characters. They know how to draw Spider-Man, and they know how to draw Batman and Wolverine and, the Simpsons, you name it. Most of the cartoons.
Any Disney character, right? I mean, it's
exactly. And so that the kids don't care how famous you are. But when you do a drawing of a character that they have an attachment to and that they love, a kid will say, I've never drawn SpongeBob, and I'll go to a hospital visit, and a kid will ask me to draw SpongeBob, and I do the best SpongeBob I can do.
Mhm.
A regular SpongeBob artist is going to look at that and laugh, but to that kid, that's an official SpongeBob, and they love it. And just to see the looks on their faces, they just light up, and you can't beat it.
No, that's wonderful. I mean, and you're also giving them the opportunity to know that there's something that they could. Yeah, lots of kids. Every kid draws, right, one way or another. I mean, there's a point in time where most of them probably stop, but many of them continue on. So to be able to have cartoonists actually hanging out, drawing with them, talking with them. I mean, that's an experience. I mean, for me growing up, I never had, but that'd be so cool to have the opportunity. So that's great. Now, Marcus asked, why is the auction the day before a con? Now, wasn't it always at a show or at a con in its history at some point? So it was kind of a precursor to the show, or am I?
No, actually, when we started doing art auction fundraisers, originally it was David Folkman, who's one of our members, would organize these auctions that we would have at Mel Lazarus's house in the San Fernando Valley, and all the cartoonists would gather for kind of a big poolside party at his house, and then they would auction off the original art that everybody had donated.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started as just a very insular kind of thing where it wasn't really open to fans and collectors. It was just cartoonists wanting to bid on the artwork of other cartoonists. But then out of that grew some auctions that were on heritage. We've partnered with them to do a couple of auctions. We did do a live auction at the Rubens in Memphis in 2016, and that was to benefit St. Jude because that's where their headquarters is.
Mm-hmm.
So we had kind of a dinner, and then it wasn't the Rubin dinner. It was I think the night before, and so that was really the first time that we actually did an auction at the Rubens that I'm aware of. So this is kind of a new thing for us to actually have the auction at the convention.
Well, then there you go. There's your answer, Marcus. Joe K wanted to do a shout out to Jeff Smith and his recovery. So I'm sure Jeff won't be attending, the awards presentation tonight, but he's definitely in all of our thoughts after we heard the news a few weeks back about his challenges. I mean, we hope he has a speedy recovery. He's one of those creators I actually have never met. And, going to shows, I think I might have saw him once at a show before I was collecting original art, and just never even thought to, I actually picked up a trade from him, but didn't talk to him at the booth.
I think the first time I met Jeff was at Comic-Con in San Diego. And it was when Bongo had just gotten started. And the second year of Bongo, we decided to do a Treehouse of Horror annual. And it wasn't me, but somebody at Bongo had the idea of inviting people outside of the Simpsons, like the regular Simpsons artists and writers, to guest write well, originally it was just to write stories for the Treehouse of Horror. Mm-hmm. And Jeff was in the first issue. Jeff was one of the first people that we asked, and it was from meeting him at Comic-Con. So we had that connection, and so we invited Jeff, Mike Allred, and James Robinson to write stories. And then a few years later, we opened it up to artists as well. So Matt Groening really liked seeing how other artists drew The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. And so he said, why don't we just let them do their own style? The characters just have to have the bulgy eyeballs and the overbites, and that's it. Other than that, they can do their own styles. But Jeff was there at the beginning with Treehouse of Horror.
That's awesome. I mean, and not the tangent, but I think that's one of the cool things. Like, I can see why Matt would enjoy that, right? Because so many creators who have a project of their own, right, where they've written it and drawn it, they'll get people to do variant covers. And I think that's got to be like one of the most fun things, is to see another cartoonist or illustrator tackle their character and just put their spin on it. I mean, that's got to be a thrill, right? I mean, I'd like to see Simon Bisley draw some Simpsons characters, right? Because what are they going to look like?
Yeah,
at the end of the day, you never know. So a lot of those guys collect the artwork too, right? I mean, you want to be able to keep one for yourself or all of them if you can.
Yeah. Just as a side plug, for years when I was editor at Bongo, I wanted someone to do a collection of the Treehouse stories, because I was really proud of the fact that we had Gene Colan, and we had Bernie Wrightson, and we had Al Williamson and Sergio, and Jeff Smith. We had all these amazing, very famous cartoonists, but most people didn't know about it. And I wanted to come out with like an omnibus of all those stories, and they finally have. So if you're a fan of Glenn Fabry, or you name it. I mean, we had the who's who, the cream of the crop, and many other cliches.
That's awesome.
Of the comics industry in that book, and that's one of the great things about being in the National Cartoonist Society as well, is just getting to meet people that you admire, and that's what that book was really all about. It was like, who am I a fan of? And it wasn't just me, it was everybody at Bongo. But, we would think, who do we love? Whose work do we love? And let's see if we can coax them into doing a story for us. And I never had anyone turn me down when I asked, because that's the magic of The Simpsons. Everybody loves it.
Everybody was waiting for their invite to work.
Exactly.
On The Simpsons.
Yeah. But we're going to miss Jeff very much. We've got a big greeting card that Ken put together for us. It's out on a table. Everybody's signing it and doing sketches. So all the CAF fans would be drooling if they could see it.
Well,
unfortunately, that won't be in the auction.
Right.
That's
a gift. It should. But I hope you and Ken are taking photographs that you can send my way.
Yes.
And maybe on next week's CAF update, we can show some videos and some still photos from the awards and in that card, and anything else that I want to see. The red carpet. I want to see a photo of you on the red carpet.
All right. Well, I'm going to be getting into my tux in about a half hour or so. So I'll make sure I look good.
Well, I'm glad this was pre-show, because I don't have a tux. I've got one of those tuxedo T-shirts. I was thinking if I was actually going to come on during the presentation, that was what I was going to have to wear. So I'm not, but I don't have to. So Bill, last question: are you going to Baltimore, or are you? With Ken?
I will not. I will not be at Baltimore this year.
No? Okay.
I think Ken's going without me. But I won't make it.
Well, we will see you at OAX, though. We haven't had you on to actually really talk about that, so we'll have to bring you on. I want to, on one of the shows soon to talk about it. But I appreciate you doing that, and I'm going to have some requests of you too, so that's why we have to talk before we go online.
Okay, I'm very excited about OAX, so I really can't wait for that. So whatever you need.
Awesome, thank you, Bill. All right. Oh, I cut him off just a little bit too soon. He was saying thank you, if he didn't know. So I've been seeing a couple other bids coming in. That's awesome. I just want to keep scrolling through the artwork, because we've got about an hour, 15 minutes until the bidding is over. And Mr. Easy Go Lucky, was my internet starting to fuzz a little bit? I was getting an alert that my bandwidth was starting to get throttled, and I had a feeling that meant one of my kids was probably playing Fortnite or something in the other room. So I texted Maureen and said, I need more internet, and then it miraculously went away. So all right, so let's get back to these auctions here. Next up, this is an Amanda Connor piece that was donated by Amanda and Jimmy. And let's see, this piece is currently, I believe, got 3 bids. And where's it at? 3 bids, and it's at $270. Tim Guerrero. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate that. Next up, what do we got? Oh, this one. I think I'm the high bidder on this one. I'm battling Bill Morrison for it. So I'm not saying, stay away, guys. You're more than welcome to place your bids on it as well. Maybe I'm not the high bidder on it anymore. No, I am. I'm at the high bid on this one. Gemma Carell. Never heard of Gemma. I actually looked up their artwork via a Google search to kind of get a little bit more information about them. But it was, I just think it's a fun thing, right? I'm down here next to Disney. You've got the Seven Dwarfs of Public Transportation: phlegmy, tipsy, stinky, chatty, creepy, and spready. We all know those. I mean, they could have said thigh gap in that last one, right? But I love it. I mean, I think it's a fun piece. So I put a couple bids on it. Bill outbid me at one point, but good stuff like that. I mean, again, you find stuff that you didn't know you would like, but this is something you could hang on the wall in your house. Spready, you got it. Let's see. Bill says, or Marcus says, I should have an auction like this tied to OAX. That's not a bad idea. I mean, we were thinking about working with Hero, but Hero does kind of the same mission that the society does as well. So we want to work with. Honestly, I'd work with a lot of charities if I could. This next one is a piece by Dave Coverly and donated by Dave as well. 8.5 by 11. This is from the Speed Bump strip, and this one's got several bids on it. Last I checked, it had 5 bids, and it is currently at what? $120 from TJ over on CAF. So thank you, TJ, for getting a bid on there. I do think I might actually have a proxy bid that I need to place on that one, and I do. You know what? I'm just going to do that right now to put the bid up a little bit higher. So it's at 120. I'm going to go ahead and add a proxy bid for somebody on this one and put it at $150. Anonymous bid. There we go. So this one's going up to $150. See, it's a good thing I'm scrolling through these. I would have missed that. Next up, we got a George Wonder Terry the Pirate strip. I mean, George came in after Milton Caniff, of course, and took over rather well. I like Wonder's style. I've got a Terry and the Pirates by George Wonder myself, and was really happy to get it. I don't have a Caniff yet, and God knows if I'll ever be able to own one at the prices that those things are realizing over at Heritage, right? But this one I think has one bid, if I'm not mistaken. Jeff Wedding put an early bid on this one. Yeah, so the bidding on this one is at $200. So very affordable strip, and it's 23 by 7. They're surprisingly larger than you would think that they are, but really cool to have. You do need an oversized portfolio if you were going to go ahead and get one of these. Makes it again, they're impressive. If you're a strip collector, if you have a few, every art collector should at least have a few examples of some. Let's see. Next up, what do we got? Luann. This is artist Greg Evans and donated by Greg. It's on 14 by 6 board, published in 2003. I am pretty sure this one's got some bids on it as well. Let me get over here. So this one is at, what do we got here? That's got one bid on it, so it's probably the starting bid. At $50 from James Dornoff. So again, pieces like this, very affordable. Starting bid we put again at 50% of what we felt the value was on it. Let's see, those pieces are not in here. Here's a illustration watercolor piece entitled Empire State by Rick Geary, and this one I know has a bid on it as well. Looks like only one bid so far, and that is priced at $300. So that's a solid opening bid. I think that was over the opening bid amount. So thank you to that bidder for that. And then we've got a Zippy the Pinhead. This one I know has seen a fair amount of action. As we talk about on the channel, thanks to Anthony so much. Bill Griffith, of course. I think Bill is up for Cartoonist of the Year along with Jeff Smith. So, many of us, I think, have always loved Zippy. I have never, they come up on eBay fairly regularly, but here's your opportunity to get one that was donated by Bill to the society. Current bid on this one by Dan P is at $500. So again, really cool. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, right, it's January 1st. Anthony should be bidding on this one. That's his birthday, for crying out loud. Should have told him that yesterday. now that we know, Ken, you should tell Anthony. I see you in the green room. You should text Anthony and say there's a Zippy the Pinhead birthday strip just for you. Then the Kathy strip. Kathy strip has been getting a pretty decent amount of attention as well. Let's see here. Let me swing over, and here it is, Kathy. This one's got 3 bids on it so far. It's currently at $300, but I can't see why that one's not going to go a bit higher. I don't think, I watch eBay semi-frequently, and I don't think I've seen too many Kathy strips on there before. So again, get something that was donated by Kathy herself. It's 6 3/4 by 16 1/4 board. Very nice piece. Then I think the Agatha Crumb is bid free at the moment. And let me double check that. No, it's got a bid on it. Agatha Crumb has a starting bid of $50 from Yerke Vainio. I'm going to guess Yerke is probably not in the United States. Let's see. Their calf gallery. Finland. All right, we've got an international bidder. That's going to make Ken happy if they win and he has to ship to Finland. But he's used to international shipping. He'll be able to work that out. This Bill Holbrook piece. This is on the Fast Track, another newspaper strip. Let's see. I don't recall if we've gotten bids on this one yet. No bids on this one, but the starting bid amount, for those of you interested, is at $50. So this one's on 14 by 5.5. It is on tracing vellum. You can kind of see the little mottled look in the paper there, but nice piece. Then, for better or for worse, this is it says spot art. I'm not sure how they were used, but I'm sure. Let's see, does it mention in here? Ink on tracing vellum, spot art for the design of the for the website. That's right. Blue pencil, editing marks, whiteout present on the pieces. If you go over to CAF, you'll be able to see better images of all 3 of those. I think I uploaded separate images for each, as far as aux images for it. Bidding on this is currently at $500. Started at $300. So these are great. I mean, everybody knows the strip, and just lovely style of by Lynn. So yeah, that one should go. Should do much better, I'm thinking. But who am I to say? A lot of these pieces, again, when Ken and Bill and I sat down to go through them, a lot of there's these things don't come up too often in the circles where we buy our artwork, right? Whether it's eBay or Heritage, Comic Link, Comic Connect. So there wasn't a lot of market data to go buy on a lot of these. Oh, Jeff is saying shh about that George Wonder. Sorry, Jeff, I wasn't paying attention to the chat. But yeah, I thought about bidding on it, and I thought, I've already got one, so let somebody else go after it. But that is a nice strip, my friend. Next up, what do we got? Oh, that's right. The Bill Keane, 1L on Bill, by the way. It's not 2. I think I misspelled it when I first posted it, and then I realized why I couldn't get it to come up in the search, because he only has 1L. But this is the painted artwork for a book cover, and it is on 11 by 17 or a little bit larger. Let's see, note on the copy, watercolor on Strathmore board. My cat is in the office with me, just scared the heck out of me. I thought I threw every pet out of my office. At any rate, this one is currently, I know it's got a couple bids. I had a few questions about this piece, if I'm not mistaken, but let's see. Bill Keane, this is currently at, come on, this one is at $750, Gabe Carino. Congrats being there. I think you've knocked my anonymous bidder out of that one. Oh no, I'm gonna actually have to place another bid on that one. Hate to say it, Gabe, but I will move the bid to $800 on this piece, and by my one of my anonymous bidders. Anonymous bid. Hate to have to say that. So, but that is the case, Gabe. So $800 now is the current bid on that one. All right, I've got to let this cat out, or she's gonna have a fit. But here, I'll bring Ken in. He can say a few words while I'm removing this feline. Hey, you want to say hi? I never show
unwanted visitors, huh?
Yeah, look, it's Coco. She's not happy that she's trapped in my office.
Did I hear you say people might have questions that you might need have for me?
Not really. I mean, just as far as you're going to Baltimore, right?
Yes.
So you're going to be a little tied up. But I, in my notes on the show, I did let everybody. I said, that Ken would reach out to any winning proxy bid within 48 hours. Are you going to be able to stick to that?
I'll do my best, but I doubt it.
I'll tell you what, if you want, because I'm giving you the spreadsheet after we're done here, after 4 o'clock passes. If you, and I assume you'll probably be using that at the show, if you wanted to be able to just let me know which of the proxy bids won, I can handle letting them know that they won and let them know that you'll be in touch as soon as you're able, since you're at Baltimore.
Yeah. I'm not going to be home until Tuesday.
Okay.
And then I'll dive into that. I did see a lot of stuff in the chat about people think that the live bidding is going to kill all the proxies. The consensus here is that that's not going to happen. That most of the proxy bids are probably going to keep, unless they're really low, because the whole point of this is to raise as much money as possible, and a lot of cartoonists just they don't have really deep pockets to do a lot of that. Some of them do.
Yeah, that's what I think.
A lot of the proxy bids are going to stick if they're good enough. They're going to stick.
Exactly.
That Sergio Aragonés piece. Mm-hmm. It's a 12 by 18 twice up pages, so it's humongous.
And you get 2 of them. I mean, it's
you get 4 of them.
Oh, 4 of them technically, yes.
It's 4. Yeah, I was going to show it, but anytime I go to where the auction stuff is, I lose the signal. But if you want me to grab anything, Bill, and show it, I can grab it off the wall, bring it in here. If somebody wants to see or has any questions specifically about any pieces.
Okay, so, I'll keep an eye on the chat, and anybody that does have any questions or wants to see something a little bit more detail, you can we can have Ken pull it up, or again, you can head over to CAF. The link to my CAF gallery is pinned at the top of the chat, so you can take a look at any of the artworks over there. Real easy, and place bids if you need.
There's a seminar going on right now, but as soon as I start seeing more guys, I'll start bringing them in too.
Cool. All right, Ken. Let me. I'll drop you back out, and I'll highlight you if we got any questions.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So yeah, the Bill Keane, like I said, I did have to raise the bid on that one, and it's currently at the $800 mark. So next up, this is kind of this piece was hard because they had like 3 different images. It's got an overlay that was inked. The back board is the painted watercolor piece. So kind of cool. This is by Rick Kirkman. It's from Baby Blues. I think, was this used? Oh, because it was a scrapbook cover piece, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, hand painted cover art, roughly 13.5 by 12.5. Mounted on a matte board. Line art is on the acetate. Yeah. So pretty interesting piece. We've seen pieces like this, and if you collected comic art, you've come across these before, where the line art is on an acetate level. Usually, the acetate is a print and not actual line art. In this case, it is actually line art on the acetate. So this piece, let me double check where we're at with the bidding on this one, because I'm pretty confident we got a couple bids on this. So we are at it's 2 bids, currently at $350 for that one. So Mr. ML is currently leading in the bidding on that one. So next up we have this piece is by Keith Knight, and I'm pretty sure we had a bid on this one. Let's see, donated by Keith as well. It's got 2 bids on it, so let's see. I like his style. So let's see. Scott Bradley has got the bid at $200. And and like Ken said, the concern about the proxy bids and whatnot. It's not like this is an event that's attended by collectors. It's not. It's comic book illustrators, cartoonists, you name it, and all raising money for charity. Like they said, it started poolside many years ago in California, just to kind of raise a little bit of money and move some art around to their fellow cartoonists. So this is not a charity event, and it's also an awards presentation. So again, it's not like Albert Moy is sitting in the audience like he usually does in Baltimore, raising the bids on everybody in the room. That's definitely a different scenario here. And nice to see. I'm getting lots of bids popping in. And I'm getting questions too, so that's going to make things a little trickier. Let's see. Let's see. Marcus says, now that I know that the auction is blah, 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 Proxies will win. That's what we're thinking, Marcus. But you never know. Anyway, so here's a Peter Cooper piece. This one I know also had some bids. Where are we at with that piece? This one is currently, it's got 2 bids. And it's kind of, yeah, I've seen a lot of Peter's work. There's a European gallery that sells his works, one of the sites that we crawl. So they pop into the CAP search results for art for sale kind of regularly. This one had a starting bid of 100. It's at 225 right now by Rob Stolzer. Thank you, Rob. This piece is, it's kind of like a stencil-ish type of process that he's using, although I'd love to see a video of his process on this. But hey, Albert will start sketching and join the society next year. Yes, just so he can sit in on these. And this is cool. At first, I didn't realize it was Bobby London, and it just said Popeye illustration, so we didn't really get any bids. But after I put Bobby's name on it, that sparked some interest in people. So this, it's a rough, obviously, on 8.5 by 11. But, the current bid, I think we got 2 bids on it. Where are we at with this thing? We're at $70. EC Harris, thank you so much, EC, for that. This one has a lot of interest in it. I can't imagine why. Mike Lukovic is donated this one, and clearly we know what the subject matter is, right? I mean, it's kind of timely. This one has 9 bids on it right now, and it's currently at $525. And am I supposed to put a proxy on that one? Yes, I am. I actually have to put a proxy bid on this one. So it's going to go up to 550. 550 is going to be the new high amounts on this one. So anonymous bid. Apologies to who am I outbidding with this one? I'm outbidding Giancarlo Nardini. So sorry, Giancarlo. I guess actually he and I have been going back and forth on this one. Oh, actually he has the high bid. Now I see he's at 650. So he's in. So I can cross that one off my list. I don't have to worry about that one anymore. Congrats, Giancarlo. All right. So next up, Patrick McDonald Mutt's hand colored strips. So this is inks. This is hand colored by Patrick. These are really, really hard to come by. I think probably anybody who follows strip art would know. It should be titled "The Idiot," says William O. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on that one. So the Mutts piece. This one, the thing is, there were actual market data pieces that we were able to look up, and all of them were all in like the were they like $4,000 or $5,000 average, and there weren't many because there just isn't a lot of Patrick's work out there. And of course, he has a Harriman love for Harriman, so you see a lot of that kind of style in his style. So we started the bidding at this one at $1,250, and it is at $4,000 right now. So that's market, everybody. Wonderful to see happening on lowly comic art fans chat and comments, pushing it up to a $4,000 amount. I'm proud of that, because we're not even really utilizing the platform as we could to get these things to where things are at. I did say $10 increment, I know, but obviously that wasn't probably the wisest thing, and nobody's followed it. Everybody's done 25 and up, following the Berkey and Anthony model, but a lot of people went up $100 at a time. So it is what it is. But this is a great piece, and again, hand colored by Patrick as well. So priced at $4,000 currently. This was an artist I wasn't familiar with, Wiley Miller, donated by Wiley Miller. Tall vertical piece. This one, non sequitur. I mean, I've heard of that, but as a strip, but for some reason never really read it. Let's see. I'll highlight that. That's wonderful to hear, Alberto. Alberto says that he's already gotten the artworks from the amateur match from Matt DiTullio on Monday night. How incredible is that? That's awesome. I love hearing that, Alberto. Thank you. So let's see. This Wiley Miller piece currently is at, because it actually had 3 or more bids on it. Let me see. Wiley Miller, 4 bids. It is at $320 by Mr. Benno Rothschild. Thank you, Benno. I think Benno came in there today and started placing some bids. Next up, we've got that cover artwork by Mr. Bill Morrison himself. Could have had Bill on here to talk about this one. We got 2 bids on this one currently, so I'm sure it's undervalued at the moment. High bid is $550 by Mark Saskin. Thank you, Mark, for that. Outbid Mr. Ferentz, who has several winning bids currently going on here. So that one, those usually go in the, I think when Bill sells them or Ken sells them for him, anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000. So it's a nice piece. Simpson versus Burns. This is from April 2000, Bongo Comics. Cover artwork to issue 48. Now, this piece was actually donated, as you can see, by Mr. Bill Morrison. I put a bid on this one, too. This is Dan DeCarlo, written by Stan Lee. I know I've been outbid on this one. Yeah, let's see. I've got, because I put initial bid at the 150. I got outbid by Trevor Pearson at 300. Trevor is definitely all in on that one. It's a great one. Hey, if you're a bowler, if you love to bowl, this is a good strip. If you're a fan of Stan, it's a good strip. And heck, it's Dan DeCarlo, everybody. Early Dan DeCarlo. This is from, well, I guess not super early. It's 1960. So a great piece. I'm looking at it now, and I feel like I should throw a $310 bid on it, but I won't. I'll let Trevor stay ahead of me. But yeah, I actually really like that center panel. What kind of an odd choice to silhouette the characters like that. This isn't like it's Al Williamson needing to do something really creative and artistic with a 3-panel strip, and he wants to play with lighting. I thought that was really smart thing to do. That would stand out in a sea of other strips on a weekday page, right? So it's awesome, really awesome. And it's See, I'm looking at it now. I feel like I should put an extra bid on. I'll think about it before the show's over. Murdoch's a big fan of Non Sequitur. That's cool. See, I never read it. Not familiar with it. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Marcus mentioned that Matt's family are shipping magnets. Yeah, they do have that going for them. All right, next up. This was a Pep Boy piece. Yeah, right. Andrew Pep Boy, inked by Gordon Purcell. Protectors Inc. I don't think this one had a bid on it yet. Let me double check that. Let's see. No bids on this one. Starting bid is at $50. So hop in there and place a bid on this Protectors Inc. piece if you'd like. And then this other piece was donated by Andrew as well. This is a Little Orphan Annie strip. I got one of these from Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. I don't know if I was drawn by Pep Boy or not. You would probably remember, Marcus. And this one, did it have a bid? No, this one doesn't have a bid on it yet either. This is starting bid of $50 on this one too. So this one was published in 2005. Then we got a page from Goon. This is from issue 42. It does come with a this print as well. This is like a San Diego print, I think, of some kind. What did it say? It's a 2x3 foot print from San Diego Comic-Con. So why does it say 2024 on it? I'm not sure. Signed by the artist, and it's 085 of 200. I don't think that one had a bid on it either. Let me take a quick look there from Eric Powell. No bids on this one. So, no Goon on it, but starting bid on this one was set at $500. So there you have that. If you're interested, please place a bid. See, I thought this one was kind of cool. If this would have gone, if they would have given me this one, I would have put it up there and I would have put a bid on it. It was donated by photographer Greg Preston. It's a group of guys from MAD. It's got Jack Davis, Nick Megalin, Tom Richmond, past president of Society, Sergio Aragonés, Don Edwing, Al Jaffe, and Sam Viviano. So, and it's signed by, who's it signed by? I guess it's probably just signed by Greg, right? But hey, you could get Sergio to sign it still. We don't have, or Tom. I know that, obviously we don't have Jack or Al, the big ones in there missing, but I would have picked that up. How cool is that? But not up for bidding. So then we have a piece by Tom Richmond. This is a DPS from MAD, parodying Ray Donovan. So it's called Ray Drearyman. I know this one definitely had a few bids on it. So let's see here where we at. Tom Richmond. It's got 2 bids, and it's currently at $300. Started at $200. So I can see Jimmy Carter in the back there, and John Travolta, a few others. So very nice piece by Tom. Then we got the Mort Drucker. This one I think finally got a bid on it today. So it is, I think it's at $500, unless another bid has come in since I saw that earlier. What do we got here? Yeah, one bid and at $500 and or 576. See, Robert Carlin just decided I'm not going to go with 500. I'm going to go right to 576 is their high bid. So thank you, Robert, for doing that. We're all grateful for your bid. Mine was Kupperberg. Thanks, Marcus. Snuffy Smith, donated by artist John Rose. This one, if I'm not mistaken, didn't have a bid on it, at least before the show started. Let's see. Nope, no bids on it. Starting bid for this one is going to be $50. It's a good gag. You know, he wants to know when the sheriff is going to be out and about so he can not be around when the sheriff's out and about. Then we got the Stan Sakai poster artwork from Brazil Comic Con. And this one I know has a nice solid starting bid. It's only got 1 bid on it so far, by the way. And this one is the starting bid was $1,500, but we had an anonymous bidder who wanted to jump in at $2,750. So that's very nice of them. I appreciate that, and as does the society. Obviously, no interiors ever make it out there from Stan. The only thing you get are covers and promo pieces like this one. So it's a beauty. Scroll back up so you can actually see it. And yeah. At $2,750, and what do we got? We got 45 minutes to go before we have to call everything. So, How to Draw a Radioactive Man by artist David Silverman. This was a lot of 12 pieces. If you go over to CAF, you'll see. Well, you can only post 6 auxiliary images, so there's only 7 of the 12 pieces up there. They were the best 7. The other 5 were more, I think, more armature-ish kind of drawings that weren't as detailed as the pieces that I did upload. And I know Bill bid on this one because he's a fan of Silverman's artwork. So the current high bid is $400 from Tyler T. Well, we all know Tyler T's got a good eye, and yeah, if you head over to the site, I don't have an easy way to swap over here. And oh, here, okay, let's see. Will this work? Did that work? It did work. Holy smokes! I had no idea I could do that. Switching right there between 2 screens. So that's one of the images. If I click on that, I'll show you. So a little bit looser, a lot. They're all fun. Drawing like that. That one. I mean, these are fun pieces. So priced at $300 right now with Tyler T in the number 1 position. So let me switch back over to the Cartoonists site. Continue this review. Next up, this was a piece of art by Ronnie Del Carmen, donated by Tom Cito. This is a production storyboard. So you can see the 3 separate illustrations that go to the Prince of Egypt flick. And let me see here. Sorry, let me get Ronnie Del Carmen. I'm pretty sure this had a few bids on it. But where is it? I'm not finding it. Come on. Over here. There we go. Da, 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 da. Sorry, I missed it. Went right past it. Doggone it. There's too much art in this gallery. There we go. I know I had 1 bid on it. So high bidder on this one currently is Greg R. at $50. That was the starting bid that we had on that one. You really should have put a title that didn't I put it? Didn't it mention it in the description? Probably only had it in the description. My bad. Can't change it now. But there are 12 pieces in that lot, everybody. Those of you, the 35 of you watching the show right now, are the only ones who are privy to that information. Let's see here. Next up. Well, this one's generated a whole lot of interest. Of course, Jeff Smith Bone, Jeff Smith recovering from an ailment, obviously, about 3 weeks ago, and he's not at the awards presentation, but he's up for Cartoonist of the Year, deservedly so. Obviously, his artwork is incredibly hard to own. Most of his work from Bone was donated to the Billy Ireland Museum in Columbus, and so we went there last August, had a great. I think they pulled out probably 12 or 15 pieces of Jeff's for us to look at. Like Spinner Rack Rick just mentioned, this was for the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. It was printed on T-shirts, buttons, covers to a couple different things. I don't even think it lists everything here, but if you look it up, this thing has been used a lot. It's synonymous with the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, and currently, let me give you what the current high bid is on this one. Mr. Smith. We've had 11 bids on it. Current high bid, it was placed by me for an anonymous bidder at $4,000. So that is where we are currently at with that one. I mean, it's I'd say it's worth more, but I mean I think 4,000 is a great number for the society to have, but given how difficult, because again, looking at the market data, there just is not. The only published piece that I could find from the Bone Strip was actually done while he was at Ohio State, and a very early piece, and gosh, I can't remember what it went for. It might have sold 8 or 9 years ago for around $4,500. So, again, there is just nothing out there, nothing like this. Lots of con sketches, right? Because Jeff has always been really good about, doing a remark in one of his trades and whatnot. But published pieces like this do not exist. Anonymous bidder is Billy. It's not me. Definitely not me. Where we got next here? I want to try to get through these. So I'll be honest. I want to stop the show about 15 minutes before 4 so I can double check on any anonymous bids that I might have to place and whatnot. So I want to try to get through as much as I can here in the next 20 minutes. So this is the Joe Staten pair of Tracy strips, and I know we've got at least one bid on it, maybe a couple. Let's see, where are we at with this one? 2 bids, and we are currently at $200 on this piece by Levi Jacob. Thank you. James Mealy got us started with the bidding on this one, so appreciate you both on that. Next up, we've got this Leo newspaper strip. This is donated by Mark Tatuli on 17 by 8 board, published in 2008. And I agree, that was a nice one. So let me see here. I don't recall if this one had a bid on it or not. No, it's got 3. Okay, my bad. We are at $200 right now. Rabid Ferret has outbid Lee and Terry. Thank you so much, Rabid Ferret, for getting us to the $200 mark on that one. Then, we got another set of 7 dwarves. One of them is DeSantis, and this was an editorial cartoon by Ann Telnays. Hopefully I got that right. Ann Telnays. This is on 14 by 11. 2 boards, so you can see 1 and 2. Very classically done, except for DeSantis with his 5 o'clock shadow there. This was published in 2023 in May. So let me see here. I'm pretty sure this had it's got 3 bids on it. And it's currently at $350 by Mr. Lovitz. Thank you, Mike. Outbid Rob Stolzer on that one. It is a good likeness, absolutely. And now we got an Angelo Torres Mad Piece. Where's Waldo original art? Somewhere in Bosnia or Croatia, I guess. This thing was, 1994 it was published from Mad Magazine, issue 326. So definitely a vintage piece here. It's got 2 bids on it. Currently, the high bid is $125. I mean, come on, this is it's 11 and a quarter by 7.5, so not a large piece, but again, Angelo Torres. I bet if I did a quick search on calf, how many pieces are on calf by Angelo Torres? 89. So not a lot, but at least well represented. by calf collectors. I appreciate seeing that, and lots of different calf collectors here. It's not like one. A lot of times when you find an artist like this, you have one collector who has 20, a quarter of the pieces, right? So, but here, no, this is well collected. Lots of calf members have artwork by Mr. Torres. All right, next up, what do we got here? Oh, the Doonesbury pieces by Trudeau. These are awesome. Basically, what you're getting is you have a pencil piece. It's on 23 by 16. Is it state what the was it on board? It doesn't say. I mean, it looks like it more than likely. It doesn't look like it's vellum. If I had to guess, let me see if I can take a better look with the scan I've got over on calf. It's hard to say. Hard to say. I know I can't see like a texture in the paper, but so it doesn't say what it's drawn on. 23 by 16. Bid was $900 on this. It comes with a color print that's also signed by Mr. Trudeau, and we are currently at $3,000 on this one by Sideshow Bob. And again, Trudeau's stuff, it's out there, but to get a piece that's all pencils, and I wonder if it was state, if it was digitally inked. Yeah, it was digitally inked, and this is from this year, February 26th of this year. So very cool piece to get. Original pencils, Gary Trudeau. And I know we're getting to the end here because these were all alphabetical. Excuse me. This is the cover, I think, to the awards program. So this is done by Sam Viviano. This one is on 12 by 16 board, and as you can see, it represents the 5 cartoonists who are up for Cartoonist of the Year, which will be awarded this evening. We've got, and it's a nice piece. And this one, I don't believe, though, has a bid on it yet, unfortunately. I think the starting bid on this was $1,000. And am I right? I am right. So it's $1,000 starting bid on this piece. So still out there for anybody who's interested. Now we've got a piece that was donated by Mort Walker's son, Brian. This is a Beetle Bailey strip. Starting bid on this one was $500, and I do not believe that we've got a bid on it yet, do we? Let me see. No, we do not. So starting bid on this one is $500. Standard classic Beetle Bailey Sunday piece for you. This is on just a little, what was about standard board size for us, 11 by 17, 11.5 by 16.5. So nice piece there. Then we've got a high and lowest piece, also donated by Brian Walker, by artist Dick Brown, and just classic strip by high and lowest. This one also, if I'm not mistaken, does not have a bid on it yet. Starting bid on this one, again, I want to be sure. Yep, $500 on that one. And what do we got? I think we got one more piece. Yeah, that was the Wayno piece, a portrait of Elton John. And I think, let me see here. I think, yeah, we had a couple bids on this one. Bill Morrison was a bidder on this one, but the high bidder currently is Jason Williams at $125. So that is all of the artwork that is available by a proxy bid on Comic Art Fans. I hope I didn't mess up any names on there, and I do appreciate the fact that we've got bids at least on a little over 50% of the artwork. So that's great. Like I say, I've got several emails that have come in the 2 hours here, so I may have to be placing some proxy bids. So I don't want to stay on here any longer than I have to. We're at almost at 3:30 Eastern here, but again, I thank the society for thinking of me to be a part of this event. I mean, it's honestly, it's an honor to be able to help charities like this and to get the opportunity to take part in these things. In my first 17 years of CAF, nobody really bothered to ask me to do anything, and now at least I get to have a little bit of fun times for myself to be a part of these things. I see Ken's popped over here. I'm going to bring him in just so he can say a few final words if he's up for it. Yeah, he looks up for it. Hey, Ken, how are you?
Hey, what's up? Looks like I'm having bad connection. You're frozen on my end.
Well, we can hear you just fine. Nope, Well, but at any rate, so I just wanted to bring you on for the last minute here. I figure I'm going to stay on top of any proxy bids that come in and any people who might want me to place anonymous bids, since I literally am going to cut it off at 4 o'clock. So even if a bid came in at 30 seconds after, I'm not taking it, even though the gallery room will still be open. I have to do that in order to see the comments so I can get the final bid. So people, just so you know that, the gallery will be live and active until about 10 minutes after 4. But if you place your bid after 4, I'm sorry. I mean, please get your bids in now, because I'm putting it all in the spreadsheet, getting over to Ken, and that's what the starting bid's going to be at the floor. So yeah, sniping works. Hey, it may work against you, Marcus. So oh, and Gabe Carino just let me know that he's outbid a few of my proxy bids, so I have work to do. Well, unless my proxy bids were already the high bid on those, but we'll see. So Ken, again, this has been a lot of fun. Like I was saying, I appreciate have the opportunity to work with you and the society to pull this thing together and make it a success. This is great. I wish I could be there to hang out with you guys and do it in person, but maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah, we really appreciate you doing this, Bill. I mean, when we were starting to formulate the idea of doing the auction, and then they were talking about doing something online, we originally weren't going to do something like that. And then I brought it up in a meeting. I said, what's more important, getting as much money or letting the Reuben Award attendees win stuff? And they said, making the most money. So I said, let's open it up. So I contacted you, of course, and you said you would be more than happy to help us out. And they are thrilled so far with the amount of the amount of money that's already being donate or bid on so far. They're ecstatic here. They are so happy.
Good.
Because it was a gamble. They've never done this before. They don't they didn't know how it was going to go. But I think they realized. And the one thing that they all said was, it seems that anybody who's buying this stuff is going to be a real collector.
Right.
So that was real important to, they didn't want people turning and flipping things and getting things cheap. But, it is what it is when that happens. But they said it looks like these are real collectors that are going to get stuff. And most of the people here are really, really happy about it. I was trying to get more people to come in, but there's a Mort Walker panel going on. So the whole society is in there.
I don't blame
the Mort Walker panel. So.
Well, like I said, please take a lot of photographs and any short video clips you can do. Don't kill yourself, but just having a feel or for the flavor of the show would be great. Even just like pan a room here or there. Definitely get some pictures of the card that you put together for Jeff. Any of those sorts of things, and then you get them to me by next Thursday, and we'll get them on the CAF update. So, all right. Well, fantastic. Well, again, everybody, thanks for tuning in and going through all the artwork with me one last time. You've got less than 30 minutes now to get your proxy bids in, and you'll be competing against me and the other people who submitted some anonymous bids that I've got to put out there. But it's all going towards a good cause, and I look forward to working with the society more in the future. And Ken, I know we'll be seeing each other soon.
For sure.
All right, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again this evening.